It's Sunday morning on CBS, and here again is Jane Pauley.
Just one of the classic songs that's made producer David Foster one of the best in the business. This morning with Tracy Smith, he's our Sunday profile.
I'm everything I am because you loved me. Oh.
If I could make music like the Rolling Stones, that's what I would do. But when I lay my hands on the piano, what comes out, you know? And I love digging in the drums and like the big moan and the strings and that's what I love.
It works.
It does.
It works all right. For the past 50 years, David Foster has produced some of music's most iconic artists and most enduring moments, like this one in a Whitney Houston cover, something he calls the Boom and I. Foster also has an amazing ear for talent. He discovered superstar Celine Dion singing at a picnic. And years later, for a Grammys rehearsal, he plucked a 17-year-old Josh Groban out of high school to sing with her. But the Hitmaker's latest project is all new and all him. It's the Tony-nominated musical Boop, as in Betty Boop, for which he wrote something like 50 songs.
What made you say, I need to do a Broadway musical?
I've always been very pragmatic about my career. And since the very early days, I always planned for when I wasn't hot anymore.
What do you mean you planned?
I planned it. In my head, it was like, that day's gonna come because nobody avoids that. Nobody. So Broadway for me was a place that I could write a song where you have to write a good song, but you don't necessarily have to write a hit song.
His Boop songs might not be hits yet.
Something to shout about, whatever it is.
But in her Broadway debut, the Tony-nominated Jasmine Amy Rogers knocks them all out of the park.
Orange, orange, violet, indigo!
We were in the studio last month as they recorded the Boop cast album, and Foster was at the board, hanging on her every note.
That ball, those gloves,
Those gloves,
that shawl. Wait, this wig, that ball, those gloves, that shawl, that wall.
In my mind, I tell myself, I'm gonna get a better vocal out of this person than anybody's ever gotten before or anybody ever will get. And of course, it's not true, but that's my mantra going in because, you know, good is the enemy of great, and we all try to be great every day if we can. And
It seems the Canadian-born Foster was great from the start. He had perfect pitch at age 4, and his parents spent basically all they had to buy him a piano.
they took their life savings, $1,700, cashed in their bonds to buy me an electric piano and an amplifier so that I could leave Vancouver Island at 16 and go to England and try and be a rock star. It's just like, what were they thinking? I mean, why would they do that? You
They
know?
had faith in you.
I know.
Turns out Foster's true talent was getting the best out of people, like producing Barbra Streisand on her 1985 Broadway album.
Barbra Streisand has said that you are difficult.
Well, so is she. Yes, she did.
What happens in that situation if you have Barbra Streisand and David Foster, both who have a vision?
We certainly respect each other, and we are friends. And, if I called her at 3 o'clock in the morning from jail, first thing she'd say was, "How'd you get this number?" And then she'd be like, "Okay, I'll come and help." She's a really good friend. One of the things I love about her is Barbra Streisand has never compromised, ever.
It's hard for me to say I'm sorry.
The guys in the supergroup Chicago learned that Foster doesn't compromise much either. He turned their 1982 album, Chicago 16, into a platinum masterpiece, but ruffled a lot of feathers with his My Way or the Highway producing style.
But if I did anything for them, I reminded them of their greatness, because they were and are great, but they had lost their greatness.
Did they grumble quite a bit as you were telling them what to do?
Well, yes. And by the way, it took 13 months to make the Chicago 16 record. The record before that had sold 100,000 copies. Our first record together sold 7 million.
Is he strong? Listen, buddy, he's got radioactive blood.
David Foster's also credited with discovering superstar Michael Bublé, but he says his own role in the music business is changing.
Do you think you'll ever have another top 40 hit?
Wow, what a question. No, I don't. When I stopped making records 10 years ago, in my own little way, I felt like an athlete, like it was time to get out. And I haven't missed it for 1 second.
No?
No, not for 1 second.
He hasn't taken a break from performing. Foster tours with his wife, singer Catherine McPhee, whom he married in 2019. And cliche as it might sound, they make beautiful music together.
Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace.
Do you think about legacy? What's the David Foster legacy?
I don't really care about it.
You don't care? Why not?
I was acquaintances with one of my heroes, Henry Mancini. And his neighbor told me that when Henry was diagnosed with cancer and he was going to die, and he went over to his neighbors, and the neighbor said, "Yeah, but Henry, think of your legacy." And he said, "I don't give a about my legacy. I'd trade that for 3 months more right now." And so would I.
But for a guy who says he doesn't care about legacy, David Foster has built a lasting one. Each of the 16 Grammys on his wall is for a song you'll never forget.
Of course, winning's not everything, but it actually is. No, I mean, sometimes I get so annoyed when I walk in front of the Grammys. It's like, is that it? That's all you've got in your whole life? Is that? It's nothing. Honestly, I swear to God.
That's what those awards would say to you?
Well, I mean, sometimes. But honestly, I got rid of them for like 5 or 10 years.
And how were you able to bring them back?
I missed them.